I guess I can talk about it and around it, because they're not like one type of anger. There are different types of anger that you have. But one of the things is that when we practice, our practice is breathe in, clear mind, breathe out, don't know. Breathe in, clear mind, breathe out, don't know. Or you have some mantra, gate gate parasangate bodhiswaha. So it's very important that you have some kind of anchor, and that you practice with this anchor, so that when you do get angry, you have an anchor, something to anchor yourself in this moment. Not into some kind of samadhi or you know, kind of state of mind, but just brings yourself back to this moment. Why? Because this moment is the healthiest thing, is the healthiest way that you could be, is in this moment. To the extent that you're in this moment, to that extent, what he's talking about is enlightenment. There you go. To the extent that you're in this moment. So that's very important. So then there are all, so basically what you need is you need good techniques. And these techniques, what you got to do is you got to practice with them. Okay, you have to practice with them, and that's what that is. Bowing is very good for anger. Bowing is very good for anger. So if you really feel an anger and you bring yourself into the Dharma room and you start bowing, you say, oh, I'm going to do 500 bows. You finish those 500 bows, chances are the anger is going to be gone. You know? It does take some work, but then after a while, what happens after a while is that you can get a sense. It takes some time, but you can get a sense of who it is that's making this anger, and you can stop doing it. But it takes a lot of work, and it works sideways. It's kind of interesting. So I was very angry, and basically that's why I decided to become a monk, is that I just couldn't control my life because I had so much anger. You know, if I go to the store and the person behind the counter I didn't even know, and I get angry at that person. Why am I getting angry at that person? Makes no sense. And so, I went to Korea and joined a retreat there. And during that retreat, you would think that I would just kind of float on cloud nine and become peaceful. That didn't quite happen. I had two knuckleheads, one on my right and one on my left. And they simply drove me up the wall. I was so angry. And then in the middle of the retreat, I was saying, okay, that's it, I'm probably going to leave. But the thing is, I had quit my job, cashed in my 401k, I gave my sister my car, I gave away all my stuff. And here I'm in the mountains in Korea, where am I going to go? So we're coming to the middle of the Kilche. In the middle of the Kilche, there was this Zen master, Kwan Haeng Sunim, a good friend of Zen master Sungsan. And in fact, Kwan Haeng Sunim passed away about maybe 6 months after his good friend Zen master Sungsan passed. He came and he gave a Dharma talk, and he said in Dharma talk that if you're thinking, then your energy's up in your mind and you're just going to follow your thinking, you're going to have an angry mind. If you have your attention is in your chest, then you're just going to follow your emotions. But if you have your energy down here in your tanjin, in your hara, all different kinds of names for it, then what it is, it's like this. You obviously that doll that you hit and it comes back up like this. So that doesn't mean you're not going to get angry and stuff like that, but it means you can come back from this anger. Okay, you can understand it and come back from it, and it doesn't have to move you so much. And so I'm sitting there saying, well, gee, well, I got nothing to lose. Let me try that. So that's what I did, is I just put all my attention to my belly and sat there with those two guys for the rest of the retreat. As the whole another half of the retreat had to go on. And then afterwards, somebody took a picture of me and I sent it to my mother. And she said that 5 years had fallen off my face. I'd quit smoking at the time. She said 5 years had fallen off my face. So while I was sitting there, then what was happening? I'm sitting there and the anger would happen. The anger would rise. And the thing is, it's a good thing I didn't go with it because, some people go with the anger and they wind up in jail. Or they actually commit suicide. I think the majority of people commit suicide. It's really interesting how this anger can take a turn like that. But anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching the anger rise, and then what happened is I noticed that it would get really high and really big, and then it would start to decline. And it was never different. It would just raise up, and then it would decline. And then sometimes I noticed that if my attention was somewhere else, and that knucklehead did the knucklehead thing that he always does, that gets me up the wall, but I didn't really see it so clearly, I didn't get so mad. I'm saying, well, what's that all about? You know? And then what happens is you begin to understand that he is not actually making me angry. What he's doing is he's doing what he's doing, and I'm deciding to be angry. And that's the point that you gotta understand. And so with that point, when you start to look inside, then you can get some control over it. And oh yeah, you're never going to have perfect control, but you get really, well, at least I haven't reached perfect control yet. And so I won't say about other people. I won't say about the Buddha, I don't know about that. But you get a lot of control, a lot of control. So yeah, I went to Korea to take care of this anger, and I did. And I'm quite content with what I've done with it. I don't have no regrets for ordaining as a monk. I have no regret. The 41 years before I ordained, and the years afterwards, you know, I'm a much happier person, much happier person.